Hey everybody, it's Jackie with Jackie's Recent Things. Today, we're going to show you how to make some super easy peppermint pieces. These things are getting quite expensive, so that's what inspired me to do this. And then plus, there's different, colors, and you can really customize them. The ones that we're going to do, they're about 4.5 inches. They're actually more like about 5.5 inches wide. So what you're going to need, you can go to Dollar Tree and get these round discs. They come in a package, 2 for $1. Super inexpensive. This is called Crafters Foam, and you can get it in glitter sheets. You can get the Crafters Foam from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart. You can even order it offline from Amazon, and it's called Eva Crafters Foam. I picked these up. These are 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree, and a friend of mine recommended them, and they make super easy templates. This will be provided for you in the tutorial. So this is what we're going to use for our template. Now this is a little bit bigger than the styrofoam. So what I did was I just set it on there, and I centered it up as best as I could. And then I took an ink pen and drew around it. And I'm not ready to cut it out yet. I'm just cutting out a lot of the excess paper that we're not going to need. And then what you'll do is you'll take your template material and you will tape this on to make it easier to cut out. So you want to take this down in a few places. That way it won't come up as you go around. And this is by far easier than tracing it on, because then you'll just start cutting your pieces out. And with the circle, what you'll do, and I'll show you an example, don't cut, just cut your circle piece, but don't cut all the way around or your template starts to fall. And then you'll just start cutting your template out. All right, so I've already cut mine out, so you didn't have to sit there and watch me cut it out. So here's the template that I've got. And what I did, because it's just easier, you're going to want to cut, depending on your color, a bottom color and then your top swirl. So what I did, because to cut, make it efficient, because there's 2 in each pack, and you'll at least want 2 to go on the wreath, depending on the style, maybe 3. But I just folded it over and trace on the back side. And then to keep it from sliding apart as I'm cutting, I took a piece of tape along the edge and taped the 2 sides together so it wouldn't slide while I was cutting my circle out. Now the important thing is you need to cut just to the inside of your line. So as you cut, your line needs to disappear away. Because don't forget, when you trace it, it is going to be slightly bigger than your circle. So cut toward the inside. So then you've got your 2 circle backs. And if they're not perfect, it's actually okay, because you might have to end up trimming a little bit. Now I've got 2 leftover pieces of the red that's actually going to work out. So I'm going to face those 2 in. Let's see if they fit. And they do, because with the red top, because it's going to come apart in different places, I cut them so that it would fit more in the square, because I found that I needed to tape it in the 4 sides, and it made it easier for me to cut down the lines. So if your tape runs over a little bit, don't worry about it. Don't forget you're on the back side. And then you'll just go around and trace. And then you'll just go in and cut your pieces out. And once again, just slightly go in past your ink. And I would cut all your inset pieces out first. That way you don't cut your tape off that's holding your two pieces together. Like so. And then just keep cutting. Now the last thing that you'll need is you'll need an edge piece to go around the outside edge. So what you'll do is you'll measure how wide your disc is. And then you'll bring your foam over. Now you don't have to do this part, this step. You can do something else. You could add trim, whatever. I just do this to finish it off, which you will see. And just know if you're not careful, this ruler will slide. So cut, then move your hand. So now I have all my pieces cut, so we're ready to go. Hot glue gun on low temp. If it's on high temp, it'll melt the styrofoam. So we don't want that. I also don't want the hot glue squeezing out the side. So I'm going to go about 1/4 inch in. And I'm going to set my white down first. And I'm just making sure that it goes edge to edge. And I really want to make sure that I'm pushing my hot glue down because I don't want this to be all lumpy. Excuse the cough, y'all. Then I'm going to do the same thing again to finish it off. I'm going to go around the edge, pretty close, about 1/4 inch up. So I'm going to flip this over, and what I'm looking for is any of the white overhang. And then what I'll do is I'll just take my scissors and just gently trim it off. As I said, if you don't cut it perfect, this is your second opportunity to fix it. So now we're going to put our pinwheel piece on, and they might be a little bit big. So I'm going to hold my finger there, and I'm going to stick the center down first. And then I'm just going to go down each piece, pretty close to the inside. And I'm going to hot glue one piece at a time. Don't force it down, just kind of let it gently go down. If you force it down, you might end up with hot glue where you don't want it. So notice I'm pushing from the center out. So this is actually neat to be able to do this for yourself, because there's actually people with Christmas items that don't like glitter and they don't want anything to do with it. They want the decorations, but they don't want the glitter. So you can actually use a non-glitter sheet if you want to. So once again, we're going to flip this over and trim the excess. And now we're going to put our edge on. So you want to hold your edge, and I'm doing it flush with my red pieces like so to create the edge. So I'm flush up here. I'm not just on the styrofoam. I'm flush up here at the edge, so it'll be a nice clean edge. If I was back here on the styrofoam, see how you can see my peppermint pieces and stuff, so I'm up here to make it flush. I'm just going to put a little line of glue there to get it started. And then I'm just going to come around my peppermint piece with some glue. And I'm going to focus on my top edge. I'm not going to worry about the bottom. I'm just focusing on the top because I want that to be flush. And I'll kind of go back, smash my glue down a bit, so it kind of squeezes out and disperses. Now to finish it off, what you'll do is where your edge is at, where it stops, you will fold your foam back where it fits, and then you'll cut. So if I had to guess, I think this is about a 12 inches around. Now the great part is you don't have to do anything to the back of this unless you were going to put this in a floral arrangement, and then of course you would just do the same thing on the back once again. So it just so happens I have another one cut out to show you, so you can watch me do it one more time in case you missed something the first time. So we're going to start out with our round disc. So I'm going about 1/4 inch in with my hot glue so it won't seep out the edge. And I'm flattening the glue out so it won't be lumpy. About 1/4 inch, low temp. Flatten it down, then come around your bottom edge. And I've got my scissors flat against the styrofoam to trim. This one's a pretty good cut, not much to trim off. So I'll take my pinwheel, set it on there, and I'm going to hold that to the center. And I'm just going to take a little dab of glue, glue the center down first. And now I'm just going to go down each and every petal. My glue's toward the inside. Be very careful that you don't put it toward the outside because you don't want it seeping out. Now, if you were going to sell these, which is great, if you plan on it, you will have to do them front and back. Unless you want to advertise them for a wreath attachment only, make sure you show them that the back is not does not have a peppermint. Make sure you put a front and back picture so that they know that it's not. If you are going to put a back on them, you'll need to do that before you put your edge trim on. So definitely take your piece. And I'm just using plain white because nobody's going to see it. Once again, I'm cutting just toward the inside. And now just like make sure that if you have ink, flip it down. So just like we did the top, 1/4 inch. I dripped over a little bit. That's okay. Not really. I'm gonna have to get that. I'll wait till it cools down before I. There we go. Get it with my finger. That's one thing I like about using a low temp gun is I don't risk burning my finger as much. So once again, you're going to put this side up and trim. Make sure your scissors are down against your styrofoam. It'll make the trimming easier and it'll make it flush. So now I'm going to grab my piece of trim Once again, I'm going to worry about it being flush and over the top. Just flush with the top is what I want it, the way I want it to be. So that's my focus, is just making sure that it's flush with the top, not over. Now I'll go back. I'm going to smush it to spread the hot glue out. Now I'm not gluing all the way to the next piece yet. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it back to where this piece and this piece meet. Then you cut it. And then you lay a little bit of hot glue. And then you have peppermint pieces. So now I'm all set with 2 different colors for 2 different kinds of wreaths. That'd be pretty cool. So when you go to attach these to the wreaths, y'all, I'll show you. It's super easy. Just take yourself an ice pick. And I'm going to go down here to the seam. You would go back here. And you would kind of go at an angle. Think about where you're going to place it first and go at an angle in. You want to make sure you don't go too far. Get your pipe cleaner. Fold it in half. Make sure it fits in the hole that you made. Shoot your hole full of glue. And then insert it in. Now that's ready to attach. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial, and actually this would make pretty neat lollipops too. If you have the lollipop sticks, you can make yourself some lollipops with these, things like that. So I hope y'all really enjoyed this tutorial, and thank y'all so much for joining me. Bye, y'all.